Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Andrew, and we are the IB English guys. Folks, today we want to build on something that's been very popular with our viewers. We want to build upon the magic sentence. We love the magic sentence, but we think there's a little bit more to add. Mr. Giles, can you talk about that briefly?
Yeah, the magic sentence is a way to talk about authorial choices and the choices that authors make and attaching that to a rich idea. We think that's a powerful tool in our analysis, but we want to offer you a suggestion, and that is to linger and level up, meaning we're going to expand on our ideas and show more thinking. This is going to really pay dividends.
Yeah, of course, to linger means to stay in one area just for a little bit longer, an extended period of time, and see if you can squeeze a bit more analysis, squeeze a bit more interpretation, and show that nuanced understanding. And that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, so many times examiners are looking for those moments where the student is really showing that complex thinking. They're expanding. So these kinds of sentences to take our thinking further really shows a lot of deep thinking.
Yeah, so we wanted to choose a piece of literature to work with today, and we decided to choose The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. It's a novel that we teach, it's a novel our students enjoy. Mr. Giles, why do you think other students might enjoy this text?
Well, first of all, it's so universal. It's so impactful about the horrors of war, but it's also about storytelling. It's about all kinds of things about memory. So it's really a powerful collection of stories. And we've chosen one character from one story that we think is really interesting. Her name is Marianne Bell. She's a female character. She's the girlfriend of one of the soldiers of the Alpha Company. Again, this is during the Vietnam War, during the late 60s. And Mark Fosse, this man in Alpha Company, decides to bring his girlfriend to Vietnam, to the war. She's not a soldier, she's just a civilian, and he just wants to bring his girlfriend.
Yeah, and
she changes.
She changes. One could say she goes through quite the transformation. And by the end of this story, the sweetheart of the Song Trebang, what's she wearing, Mr. Giles?
She's wearing a necklace of human tongue. She's almost joined the Green Berets, and she has literally left her boyfriend, obviously, but become kind of a part of the land, and it's become quite savage. It's very fascinating.
So to linger and level up today, we want to take you through 5 steps. This 5-step process we believe will get you to deeper analysis. Mr. Giles, step 1 is we need to articulate a main claim. What can we say about Marianne Bell? And let's take one of our course concepts in transformation. What can we say about her? We need to come up with a good topic sentence that's going to guide our analysis.
Well, one way to look at it is just to think about exactly how does she change. So we might say something like, Tim O'Brien depicts Marianne Bell as a savage to show that war transforms soldiers and breaks their innocence.
Yeah, I like that very much. Of course, Tim O'Brien is in the driver's seat, and we're talking about that. We see that good analysis to show that. We have our key idea, which is rooted in the course concept, transforms, and we have a rich idea of breaking the innocence. I think that is a strong idea. I can work with that. Now we need some textual evidence to support this idea.
Yeah, so that might have been a topic sentence of a paragraph, right? Again, we're just thinking about what's the rich idea, what's the argument about Marianne Bell. Now, let's find our evidence. So what's a good piece of evidence?
Mr. Giles, the end of that story, the sweetheart of the Song Trebang, I have a few lines I'd like to read aloud because I just can't forget these lines.
Hit it.
At the end, Tim O'Brien writes, "She was part of the land. She was wearing her culottes, her pink sweater, and a necklace of human tongues. She was dangerous. She was ready for the kill." Mr. Giles, when I think about that innocent girl coming from Cleveland, Ohio, my hometown, thank you very much. When I think about her leaving Cleveland and getting there, that's such a stark transformation. She went from pink sweaters and high heels. She's wearing tongues.
Yeah.
I love it. But I can't use that whole quote, Mr. Giles. I need to take a snippet, just a little piece. Which part of that quote, which snippet really pops for you? And can you make an analytical sentence with that?
I'm compelled by the necklace of human tongues. Obviously, that's a very odd thing for someone to be wearing. Also, like the culottes and the pink sweater. By the way, culottes, in case you didn't know, I had to look it up. They're kind of like short, almost like capris. So they're almost like a female, like something that women might have worn in the 1960s.
Yeah, apologies for my mispronunciation.
Yeah.
I don't wear them very often myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, they're like capri, like short pants. Okay, so that's what culottes are. So that's interesting. The necklace of human tongues.
Yeah, can you make an analytical sentence that we can then pop in there so we can continue to build our analysis?
Okay, O'Brien uses the phrase necklace of human tongues to show the savagery of Marianne.
Okay, I like that. It talks about how this phrase is being used by O'Brien to shape meaning. Okay, I think we're on our way to some good analysis, but I really want to pin that to some sort of authorial choice. Step 3 would be to analyze craft. and find that authorial and identify that authorial choice. What do you want to pin to that phrase, necklace of human tongues?
Well, the necklace of human tongues is obviously an object that we can see and touch in the story, so it's a symbol, and I want to talk about how that's symbolic. So I might say, this serves as a strong symbol and demonstrates that she has abandoned her pure and innocent demeanor and converted it into something much more sinister.
I like that. I can see the tongues. I understand how it's used to create this effect. I understand how it's shaping meaning. And we see this idea being played with of innocence and how she's becoming sinister. I like this. Giles, I think most students would leave here.
I do too, and most students would just move on to the next feature.
But we like to say, linger, stick around a bit longer, linger and see if you can level up and move down the mark band. Giles, tell me about, we've got the tongues, can we juxtapose the tongues with anything else?
Yeah, the culottes and the pink sweater. I mean, like you think about how innocent those articles of clothing are and how they represent her purity when she arrives to Vietnam. And she's still got those, and it's kind of the duality of human nature. It's her two sides.
Awesome. So maybe we could add a sentence such as this. By juxtaposing the tongues with the culottes and pink sweater, readers can easily see the stark contrast between the woman she once was and the woman she has become. This creates an ominous mood and shocks the reader. All right, we're lingering a little bit.
We've said juxtapose, we've talked about the contrast and mood. So we've actually added multiple features on top of just the symbol.
And we've added more references, which is a part of criterion A. So just by lingering, we're adding more to A and B simultaneously. But criterion A also asks us to consider implications and draw some conclusions. Should we try to level up?
Yeah, let's stretch it even further. Let's make an inference.
So how can we connect this to a richer idea, Mr. Giles? What's an idea that maybe you want to play with here?
Maybe I think about madness. So that clearly isn't a rational thing to have a necklace of human tongues. So we want to not just talk about savagery, but just that descent into madness.
Take a crack at it. Add a sentence.
From these phrases, we can infer that Marianne has lost her humanity and descended into madness. Perhaps this is O'Brien's ultimate message. Humans risk losing their innocence in war, thus exposing our animalistic tendencies.
Not bad, Giles. Not a bad piece of analysis. So we've gone through a 5-step process. We had our main claim, we found our evidence, we explained our evidence in terms of the craft, and then we lingered and leveled up, okay? What do you say we read this thing all together at the end and see how it sounds?
That's great.
Go for it.
You want me to do it?
Do it.
Okay. Tim O'Brien depicts Marianne Bell as a savage to show that war transforms soldiers and breaks their innocence. O'Brien uses the phrase necklace of human tongues to show the savagery of Marianne. This serves as a strong symbol and demonstrates that she has abandoned her pure and innocent demeanor and converted it into something much more sinister. By juxtaposing tongues with the culottes and the pink sweater, readers can easily see the stark contrast between the woman she once was and the woman she has become. This creates an ominous mood and shocks the reader. From these phrases, we can infer that Marianne has lost her humanity and descended into madness. Perhaps this is O'Brien's ultimate message. Humans risk losing their innocence in war, thus exposing our animalistic tendencies.
Mr. Giles, we got all that just from a lingering in one sentence. What are your thoughts on this? Is this something we're going to do all the time in our paper?
I'm so glad you asked that, because it's not something we can do all the time. We can't take every reference and linger and level up and keep lingering and leveling up, because then we're only going to have a limited amount of references. But we need to do this. We need to stretch our thinking. It's fun, too, because it produces really interesting, rich ideas.
So we'd recommend twice, maybe 3 times. I don't know how many times. Just periodically in your paper, consider lingering and leveling up. We think that'll push your analysis, interpretation further, okay? Folks, in the end, we hope this video has been helpful for you. We hope you understand that the magic sentence is a great tool, but periodically we need to think about lingering and leveling up. Stay with the channel. Let us know what else you need, and we'll see you next time.
Good luck, guys.